Hello, this is Lacaro from Pop Spectrum, and just recently we've seen the release of the highly anticipated new DC animated film, gaining a mixed bag of reactions of late. So I thought I'd grab some popcorn, turn on the TV, sit down and review Batman: The Killing Joke. Now, coming into this film, I had a lot of high expectations. The Killing Joke is one of my favorite comics out there, but saying that, I was very excited for this film. Super excited. But when I saw it, I'll say it here right now, right at the beginning, I was a bit disappointed. This film left me with a lot of unanswered questions, and it made me feel really empty. But I'll get to that. Now, this film takes place in the later years of Barbara Gordon being Batgirl, and opens on what I can only describe as the Batgirl mini-movie, or Batgirl prologue. Because for the first 30 minutes of the film, it focuses on Batgirl and her struggles with being second best to Batman himself, as shown by her constant need to be equal to him. But let's face it, any Batman sidekick has that issue after he says, "It's too dangerous to go alone." What is it with sidekicks that always disobey the hero? They know the dangers of these situations, so when Batman tells you to stay out of it or you might get killed, you stay out of it! Besides all that, this prologue sees Batgirl going up against Paris, France, after she fails to stop a robbery, and he develops an unusual obsession with her. But of course, through this robbery we see Batman taking the one and only hostage and beating the living snot out of him. Way to go, Batman, showing that dominance in Gotham. After developing this obsession with her, Paris leads Batgirl through a series of clues and whatnots here and there and tricks her into finding the body of his uncle. Which to me had no effect, because the only time we ever see this man is when he's doing the typical mob boss, "I'm gonna yell at ya, or you're gonna die" kind of threat. Which to me fell very flat, because we've seen this over and over again, where we see a mob boss. Yeah, he has money, he can kill you by just saying a few words. Yeah, we've seen that in every single edition of any Batman mob boss. This kinda got very boring, very quickly. Besides all that, I was more interested in the dynamic between Batgirl and Paris, France, because Paris was becoming Batgirl's equivalent of the Joker with his sense of humor and overall tone about him. Now, here we come to the most controversial part of the film. The part that's getting everyone riled up at the moment is the sex scene between Batgirl and Batman. I'm fine with it. There is nothing wrong with it, and to be honest, I called it straight away as soon as I saw the chemistry between Batgirl and Batman. There was tension there. There was tension from the beginning, there was tension throughout this entire prologue. It's perfectly fine. Sometimes you need to get rid of that tension. And what do? Well, you either beat up bad guys, or you have sex with someone. Either way, it works. And the thing is, this scene goes for less than a minute, and it's not like it shows anything very crude or rude. It just shows a little bit of hand grabbing, and the shirt comes off, we see Batgirl's bra, la, it's all done. So I don't know why people are getting so up in the air about it. It really doesn't mean anything. And besides that, this kind of sexual tension has always been seen in the later years of Batgirl. But needless to say, Paris is finally apprehended, and Batgirl gets to beat the living snot out of him. And then, after all that, Barbara hangs up her cowl and retires from being Batgirl. Now the thing is, this prologue could have been a completely separate film, and I would have loved that. Definitely could have been a standalone Batgirl film. But no, it was lazily thrown together and put it in the beginning of The Killing Joke. Do I like it being there? It's fine. But the next time I watch The Killing Joke, I'm definitely going to be skipping through it. But, like I said, I love the dynamic between Paris, France, and Batgirl. It was very reminiscent of the relationship between Batman and the Joker. And now it's at this point Batman is called in for a murder in a storage facility, and he believes Joker is behind it. But after paying him a visit to the good old Arkham Asylum, he discovers that once again, of course, the Joker has escaped and he begins to go on the hunt for him. Seriously, does nobody have security around the Joker? It seems that every time I go to, start up a new Batman film or play a Batman game, the Joker is somehow always there. You would think that Batman would put him in the most highly secure place. But no, when we see Batman going to the Joker's cell, it's the same old, just normal, generic jail, and it's really frustrating that this always happens. I understand we've got to introduce the Joker somehow back into society, but it is always somehow the Joker has escaped. We never get an explanation, we never get anything, he doesn't kill anyone, he doesn't, bribe anyone, he just somehow just walks out. Come up with something original. A prison riot, he escaped during a prison riot. That could have been perfectly fine, but no, nothing. This is where the film really starts to kick into the next gear, because even though I liked the dynamic between Paris and Batgirl, it was very dragging for the beginning of the movie. And there were many points I was just like, get to the point, I want to see the Joker. And when we got to the Joker and his crazy shenanigans, well, I was disappointed to say the least. We've been waiting so long for this movie to come out, and after the amazing story that was the comic, to me, it didn't translate well into the animated world. And when the movie finished, I was left wondering if there was some point I was missing or some scene I didn't watch. And so when I watched it again, I still felt very mixed about it. It left me with an empty feeling, which movies should not do that. Besides all that, the voice acting was spot on and everyone gave it their all when making this movie. Kevin Conroy as Batman, Tara Strong as Batgirl, Ray Wise as James Gordon, and of course the wonderful Mark Hamill as the Joker, and all of them delivering an amazing performance, and the animation was some of the best DC have ever put out. But the thing is, the story just was lackluster. I know, that's a controversial thing to say, that the story is lackluster, I know. But the thing is, the comic is 10 times better. It just did not translate well into an animated film. That's my personal opinion. That's not an official opinion from anyone else but me. I'm sorry to say, that's my personal view on it. I really do like the flashbacks when we see the Joker, because it gives us a little tickle of where the Joker comes from. But in saying that, I'd be very happy if we never found out who the Joker was. Even though we see these small segments of his past, we never get the full story, and I'm happy with that. Because the Joker is best if we never learn anything about him. Because once we do, he becomes human, not the monster we know and love. Honestly, I don't know why this got an R rating, or understand the hype around it being R rated. I understand that it's the first DC animated film to get an R rating, but I honestly do not think it was needed because the content in the movie was not as disturbing as it claimed to be. Here in Australia, it was only rated an MA, and I find that perfectly fine, but saying it deserves an R rating is not needed. Another thing I will say about the movie is it has a lot of pacing problems. From beginning to end, it doesn't know where it's going. It doesn't know what it wants to do. First off, we'll get a couple of minutes of this, and then we go through just a whole bunch of just nothing for a while, and then we get another small segment, and then it's a whole bunch of nothing. The pacing is just very off, and I was sitting there looking at my watch going, really? It's only been 10 minutes? It feels like about 5 hours. Overall to me, the movie was a little disappointing. I wish the Joker had more presence than he did. I don't feel he was utilized as much as he could. I wish that all the moments that were supposed to be the shock and awe turning points of the movie actually had the weight behind them. But I think it'd be much better to go out, buy, and read the comic rather than see this. It's a much better version of the story, and I think I like it way more than the movie. I'm not saying don't watch the movie, I'm just saying it'd be better to read the comic. In summary, The Killing Joke was a decent movie, but definitely fell short in a lot of departments, and it didn't have the strength that the comic did, but still a worthwhile experience for any Batman film. I'm giving this 3 pops out of 5. This was Lucara from Pop Spectrum signing out, and I'll catch you next time.
Be sure to like, favorite, and comment on this video, as well as subscribe to Pop Spectrum. Thank you for watching!